very good morning to all of you. In this class, I am going to start with another important topic of chapter, the living world. Before going to start, first revise of previous class content, then we proceed to the today's topic. In previous class, we have already discussed about the different points of the living world. First is what is living. Simply, the living organism characterized by different characteristics. That means if cellular organization prokaryote is present, so that organism will show prokaryotic organization of cell, or if they belongs to eukaryote, so they shows the eukaryotic organization of the cell. Now beside these, the how we can say that the animal belongs to living organism, or what are the living characteristics. Simply, we identify any substance or differentiate any substance from the living organism on the basis of different characteristics. These characteristics shown by living organism are growth, reproduction, consciousness, metabolism. Now, but we can't take all the characteristics as characteristics of living organism, because there are few exceptions. For example, if we talk about the growth, because the growth in unicellular organisms, simply they grow by cell division, or all living organism can grow by cell division, or if the number of cells increases, or the size of organism increases, so they are considered, that characteristics considered as growth of that particular organism. Now, or the unicellular organism, in the both the reproduction and the cell division are simultaneous process, or cannot be differentiated into the cell division, which is the cell division, or which is growth, which is reproduction. But if we talk about the higher organism, higher plants, so the higher plants grow throughout their lifespan. But if we talk about the animals can grow only up to the specific lifespan, certain lifespan actually. Now, there are mountain can also grow, because the accumulation and deposition of soil enlarge the surface area of mountain. So the mountain also grow, the buildings also grow, there is formation of one floor, second, third floor, also growth in the building, represent the growth in the building. So non-living organism also shows the growth, concept of growth. That means the growth is not a defining property of living organism, because there are so many exceptions, or non-living organism can also grow. Now, if we talk about the reproduction is the characteristic of living organism. If we talk about the unicellular organism, they reproduce by the mitosis division simply, or some of the organisms show asexual or sexual reproduction both. But there are so many exceptions, like mule, they are infertile or sterile also said to be, so they can't reproduce, they are not able to reproduce, so they are not living organism, they are living or not living organism. Some of the other organisms like honeybees, worker bees are sterile female, so they are not able to reproduce, but they are living. Now, if we talk about the other animals, human couple, so there are also there are so many examples of human couple. Those are infertile or sterile, but are living. So, due to the presence of so many exceptions, reproduction cannot be taken as living property or defining property of living organism. Now, next is another is metabolism. And metabolism, there is no such exceptions are present in the world that shows the metabolism outside the living cell. So metabolism and consciousness are the defining property of living organism. Now come to the diversity. There are so many types of animals present on our earth, or that belongs to different group, different taxa, different shows different type of characteristics. Some are endemic species, some are found in all over the world. For example, Mangifera indica only found in India, but in the world there are so many variety of mango found, but not the Mangifera indica because they are endemic. Such like other plants or animals, some of the other plants and animal are also endemic species. Like cartilaginous fishes also said to be they are endemic because they found in only in ocean, but are not able to survive in the freshwater bodies. So that's why they are taken as endemic. So the total mean is I want to say that there are so many different type of living organism, unicellular, multicellular, unicellular, multicellular, then prokaryotic, eukaryotic, free living solitary type or also colonial, parasitic, obligate parasite or free living type. Some of them shows symbiotic association, or some are heterotroph, some are autotroph, some are saprophytic, some depend on other endoparasite. So depend on the other organism that are endoparasites. So overall there are so many types of organism, different type of organism found on the earth. On the basis of this, the term include the biodiversity or diversity simply. Now, for identification of different type of organism and naming given to different type of organism, consider in the nomenclature. Nomenclature is a process of providing naming to different type of organism, that is scientific name. First, the Carolus Linnaeus given the binomial nomenclature, which is a two naming system in which first name shows the generic name and the second name shows the specific epithet. So now in today's class we are going to discuss about the rules of nomenclature. Universal rules of nomenclature for living organisms. So, according to the Carolus Linnaeus gave the binomial nomenclature. According to the binomial nomenclature, the two name system used for identification of the living organism. That because why we need the binomial nomenclature? First, the single species denoted by our country is not local name is not universal, so the local name may change. That particular species known by other name in the other country. So that's why the naming system provided to living organism is essential for identification of that living organism by a single name. So every country, if we talk about the Apis indica, so in other country like America, Afghanistan and other Muslim countries, because in these countries there is other language is spoken by the people, that is Urdu, Parsi. So because of the other language, the same organism denoted by the other name. That's why the naming system is necessary for the identification of organism. Now, what are the rules of nomenclature for living organism? In the binomial nomenclature, the two naming system include two naming system given by the Carolus Linnaeus used in the universal rule of nomenclature. So it involves two name system in which both the name written or taken for the organism should be in Latin word. So name should be in Latin word, Latin word. But if written Latin word or word written in italic. Now second rule is in both the name, like Carolus Linnaeus binomial nomenclature, first name shows the generic name and the second name shows the specific epithet. In universal rule of nomenclature also include that one, first name denote generic name and the second name is specific epithet. So first name is generic name, whereas second name is specific epithet. Now when these two names written handwritten, so both are underlined separately. Underline both word separately. So the word underlined separately. Now fourth rule is the first letter of generic name written in capital letter. First name of generic name, first letter of generic name written in first letter of generic name written in capital letter and the second name with a small letter. Second name with a small letter. So here is the overall universal rule of nomenclature, in which the first the name should be in italic or written Latin word written in italic form, or the first name shows the two name system of the scientific name or nomenclature of any living organism, in which first name should be generic name and the second name represent the specific epithet. Underline both the words separately. So first we underline both the words separately, then after first letter of generic name written in capital letter and the second name of generic name or specific, which is a specific name, written in small letter, and both letter or word lined separately. Now after this we can also include the scientist name after the name of plant. After the generic or specific epithet, we can also write the name of scientist who given the name of species. So it is also included by the rule. Scientist name also given, scientific name also given to also written in the last of the, or are written, also written after the species name. Species name, written after the species name. Now here is the overall about the universal rule of nomenclature. So what is universal rule of nomenclature? A rule of nomenclature, or also said to be binomial nomenclature, because the rule follows a binomial nomenclature given by the Carolus Linnaeus. Now overall these are the rules. Now, after these the living organism also categorized into different taxa according to their characteristic. So the classification of these living organisms is known as taxonomy. So what is taxonomy? First we discuss that. The taxonomy is a simple classification of living organism, so that if we want to read about any living organism, so classification represents the also the general characteristic or the specific characteristics of living organism, So the process of classification is known as taxonomy. So the binomial nomenclature or the two naming system also include into the classification. If we want to classify the living organism, first we differentiate. If we want to classify that living organism, so first we follow the classification rule. According to the classification, we group the living organism into different taxa according to their characteristics. So how we can differentiate the living organism into the different taxa? Simply a classification of living organism. How classify living organism according to their characteristic? In different taxa according to their characteristics. According to their characteristic. Characteristics. So what are the characteristics of living organism? If we want to classify, there are so many taxa. The large taxa is phylum. Then after, first we write the kingdom, the first taxa. Then kingdom is differentiated or divided into different phylum. Now phylum divide into the class divide into the order divide into family, then family is divided into genus, then after species name. Family divided into genus and then species name. So these are the taxa in which different organisms categorized in different taxa. So what is kingdom? Kingdom is a broad taxa or larger most taxa in which living organism which shows the certain characteristics. Not we are just including the specific characteristic, because specific characteristic only is included into the species name. Now and the phylum characteristic are the common, those shows the common characteristic. For example, if we differentiate living organism into kingdom, so first we observe the kingdom classify the living organism on the basis of their cell organization or cellular organization, also the feeding method, food formation, cell type. So what are these? That means presence of cell wall, plants. In plants the presence of cell wall occur. Now in the animal the absence of cell wall, there is absence of cell wall. Plant also shows the autotrophic feeding habit, whereas the animal shows the heterotrophic feeding habit. So these are the broad characteristics by which every organism can differentiate either in plant kingdom or in the animal kingdom. So how we can differentiate all these organisms into plant kingdom or into animal kingdom? On the basis of these, that the plant kingdom, the organism which belongs to plant kingdom shows the different characteristic. For example, presence of chloroplast or presence of pigment, presence of cell wall. If chloroplast is absent, so they may show the cell wall. For example, fungi shows the cell wall which is formed by chitin but not the pigment chloroplast. Similar in bacteria, they show cell wall but not the pigment, so they are classified into a group into the kingdom Plantae. Now animals are heterotrophic, generally do not have such kind of association, do not show such cell wall or other characteristic like plant, so they are included into the animal group. Now if we talk about the plant, if we talk about the plant, if we talk about, here is the kingdom plant. Now in the plant, if the organism belongs to the plant or living organism belong to the plant group, though the plant group show different characteristics, that means they are autotrophic, they shows the cell wall inside, they form their own food, they are actually the locomotion are so defined or very less. Now the phylum or the division is in the plant, the division is most important first rather than the phylum. So we include the division like Bryophyta, for example, or Pteridophyta, Gymnosperm, Angiosperm. So the phylum may also include the division. So Mangifera, for example, the phylum or in plant, it is also denoted by division. So phylum, if we talk about the animal, so there will be phylum or the animal group divided into the phylum. Like if you talk about the malaria causing organism Plasmodium, so how can we divide? Then we later we discuss after the plant kingdom. Now after the plant kingdom, so if plant kingdom divided into the so many divisions like bryophyte, pteridophyte, Thallophyta include algae, then bryophyte, pteridophyte, gymnosperm or angiosperm. So if we take angiosperm mainly represents the different characteristic of living organism with common characteristics. So what are the common characteristics of angiosperm? They shows the flowering. So those are flowering plants include into the angiosperm, or those plants which do not bear flower or bear flower for the sexual reproduction including into the gymnosperm. But other than these, gymnosperm shows other characteristic also. That means naked ovule is also present, or they are primitive type. So other than the we discuss in detail later in the next chapter. Now in the angiosperm, if we talk about the class, so angiosperm divide into different classes: monocotyledons or dicotyledons. For example, we are going to take the class dicot. Class is dicot. So the order of the dicot are so many type. Like we are taking example of Sapindales. Now the genus is, if we want to, in Sapindales so many genus are present, but we are going to take just only common example. So here is Mangifera. Genus will be Mangifera and species name is Indica. Genus Mangifera Indica. Species is Indica. So they represent the overall classification of mango. So here is the overall classification of mango. How can we write the classification of mango? We write or divide the plant into the different taxa. There's different taxa. Categorization of the plant into the different taxa is known as classification. How we classify the Mangifera or mango plant with the help of taxonomy. So we just include the large group because Mangifera indica, we know that the mango is plant simply. So we include the kingdom is plant. Then mango shows the flower, small flower we generally observe in the mango tree. So because they belongs to the flowering plant, so include into the flowering plant angiosperm. Now Mangifera indica, when we open the seed of the Mangifera indica, we observe the two cotyledons in the Mangifera, in the seed of Mangifera indica, in the embryo of the seed, or embryo or two cotyledons shown by the seed of Mangifera indica. So we put it into the class dicot. Now Sapindales shows another characteristic. Then we include the Sapindales or genus, and then after genus is Mangifera because of the drupe fruit or indica. These are endemic species only found in India. This species only found in India. That's why they are included into the Mangifera indica. So students, I hope you like this video. Keep listening and watching me. Here is the overall about the taxonomy and rules of binomial nomenclature or universal nomenclature. Simply the universal nomenclature also include the binomial nomenclature given by the Carolus Linnaeus, or The Carolus Linnaeus, also known by the father of taxonomy name. So overall, here is the taxonomy about how what are these are the taxa, how we categorize the plant animal into the different taxa according to their specific characteristics. So students, if any doubt, if any question, so ask me, or thank you for listening and watching me. Keep listening and watching me.